The Dynamo got an exciting win, 3-2 over Portland. This started out with Guerra scoring. Gage Guerra, by the way, who is from Houston. He was a Dynamo Academy product, went to the Portland Timbers. I guess he didn't get signed here. He was in the academy for 2 or 3 years, so he was at another club probably before that in Houston. I'm not sure, maybe the Houstonians. He went to Army, he went to Louisville. He only appeared 6 times last year, so he scores in the 45th minute. What a homecoming for him, his first ever professional goal. Save penalty, Jonathan Bond, he stuffed in the rebound. Dynamo first 45 minutes, and Dynamo fans out there who are the intelligentsia, I want to hear your thoughts, 713-780-3776 on this game. So 1-0 at halftime. Dynamo don't have a shot on goal. I don't know why they're so slow starting in the first 45 minutes. It's like we're going to be really cautious. We're going to be tame. I want to see this team attack from the start. It's your home field. The weather's great. Too conservative. Don't make it a 45-minute game for a road team. Get after an opponent from the start here. And you got the players now to do it. Okay? I could see it in the past. You got guys now that have pace, that have the ability to beat people one-on-one, that want to get to goal like Guilherme, the new Brazilian, like Bogusz, who got the game winner. You got an alley coming from deep. You got more players now that can win you a game, much like you won this game, and I'll get to that in a minute. So 1-0 at halftime. Dynamo come out a better team in the second half, very similar to the opening game of the year. Guilherme gets a header in the 62nd, snaps it in, great goal. Andrade in the 77th from outside the 18, 2-1 Dynamo. Velde ties it up in the 80th. 90+4, Markonik, who came on, gets sent off. And the Dynamo play 10 or so minutes, a man down. And they get a game winner after a long ball knocked forward by Jack McGlynn that I think it was Brandon By, the defender, got all tangled up, didn't judge it right. And Bogusz wins it and gets the goal. Now, I'm going to say simply, if that was Ezequiel Ponce, he's not going to get the goal at that point. I love having the highest player on the field for your team, a guy that has pace and a desire to get to goal. I think that's so important. I think it's important on corners. I think it's important they occupy defenders, make people drop back. It's important, and it won you the game. Now, if it wasn't Bogusz or Guilherme and it was someone else that doesn't have the pace, you don't win that game. There's obvious lessons from this that we learn. The roster is better for the Houston Dynamo. The wingback position is still to some degree question marks. We'll see how Holmes and Lawrence Anali do there. Certainly Anali has the lungs to get up and down. I don't think that's where either of those guys want to play, but I think they don't have a choice right now. After the move of Griffin Dorsey, I would have loved to have seen this team with Dorsey. How about a guy out of contract in Colorado? Sam Vines. He's available. He's an outside back. Would you want him to come to Houston? Have you seen him play? 713-780-3776. So you look at the Ezequiel Ponce position. He is a designated player. He is and has played with his back to goal for the Houston Dynamo so much, coming back to the ball. Now, to be fair to him, he hasn't had the support that he may potentially have now, but he should score, to get your money's worth out of him as a DP, he needs 15 goals. Enough with the pressing and how hard he works defensively. I don't want to see him, when the other team has the ball, back behind the ball, 25 yards out from your own 18-yard box defending. Stay up the field. Stay at the halfway line. Occupy people. Be an outlet. I don't get that whole thing. I don't get bringing everybody back on corners either. I don't get that. That's too conservative to me in this day and age. And by the way, the other thing about coming out rip-roaring in the first half, you're at home. It's your fans. The weather's cool. There's nothing to wait for. It's not 90 degrees now. Yeah, we talk about trying to bring more fans to games. Well, that's one way the competitive side of the club could potentially do that. 713-780-3776. But now you have a chance to win games with pace like that up front. Maybe games you don't deserve to win. You know, the Dynamo were lucky not to concede a third before that happened. And by the way, 1 out of, I think, every 5 goals is scored off corners, so that's a big one. Ben Olsen was really emotional in the first half. He got a yellow. It calmed him down. He wasn't prowling his box like usual. And I think that's a good thing. I think sometimes the antics from coaches in their coaching box and the constant lobbying and emotion and I think it gets old, and I think it can be a distraction sometimes for players. Maybe not, but it becomes a little bit too much. So they started with Andrade, Halter, Sviatchenko, Bond, Anali, Samasek, Kedu, McGlynn, Holmes. So let's talk about Jack McGlynn. He didn't get picked for the U.S. roster. 2 big games, Belgium and Portugal. To not be on that roster, you got to be nervous about making the team. Pochettino did mention that the door is not closed yet if you didn't get put on this roster. And I think we have this sound, Brian. I think it's Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia area asking the question.
And now it's the last roster before the World Cup team is picked at the end of May. What do those players have to do to convince you and make it?
Well, I think that decision in this roster, what I can tell you that everyone is saying that maybe it's the last opportunity, but it's not close. It's open. It's still open. It's not the final roster.
Oh, there you go. It's pretty simple. It's not the final roster. But again, I think if you're not on this roster, you're squirming. And man, I feel for these guys. Like, you know, you're getting to this point and you're going to go to the world's greatest sporting event, rarefied air. And boy, to get or be the guy on the fringe that doesn't go, it's tough.